The noon sun poured through the dusty windows of the small Texas railroad station. The air shimmered with heat and the smell of creosote, tobacco, and tired men. A fly buzzed lazily between warped panes while the station clock ticked on. Two men sat apart, their low voices steady and sure, men used to giving orders. "I'm glad you've decided to throw in with us, Milt," said Asa Swingley, slow and grating. His words weighted with authority. "You'll see more than cows and dust, maybe even a little shootin'." Milton Bertram smiled faintly. "I reckon I won't object to a little excitement," he replied, though wariness shadowed his tone. Swingley, known as Two-Bar Ace, was all angles and steel, tall, grizzled, and carved from stubborn stone. His gray eyes had the chill of gunmetal. Bertram sat across from him, younger, but with that same steady fire in his gaze. "Well, I've said I'd come," Bertram said evenly. "But I reserve the right to drop out if things aren't on the level." For a long moment, the only sound was the ticking clock. Then Swingley's brows drew tight, his eyes flashing a test. "You're a bold young rooster," he said, half amused. "But it's too late to quit now. You've signed on, and I'll be needin' your kind before this trip's through." Bertram shrugged. "Just makin' sure this job smells clean, Ace." Through the doorway, the other recruits sprawled on bedrolls, smoking and spitting. A rough bunch, eyes hard, hands near their guns. Bertram muttered, "You've sure gathered a fine set of angels. Tom Hoog's in there. I've heard his name whispered from Amarillo to Abilene." Swingley's grin widened. "I like men who can take care of themselves." Tom Hoog sat apart, cigarette glowing and fading between pale fingers. His hat brim hid his eyes, but the sharp nose and stillness spoke danger. Twin Colts rested easy on his thighs, and the way his hand hovered said he knew how to use them. Bertram's gaze lingered. "If this trip's clean, why pick outlaws for company?" Swingley's smile died. "You'll find out soon enough." Swingley stood, towering like a storm post. "You've got sand, boy. That's why I picked you. I know about you and old Bill Bertram. He's a hard man, squeezes folks out the way a rattler squeezes air from lungs. Maybe this'll even a few scores." Bertram said nothing, but his eyes darkened. Family, it seemed, was never far from trouble. Swingley checked the clock. "Our special train pulls out in an hour. You'll see to your own gear. The wranglers will load the horses." He slapped the dust from his gloves. "I'll look for you in an hour." Then he strode out, spurs clinking, a shadow of iron and intent. Bertram watched him go, unease tightening in his chest. Alone again, Bertram lit a cigarette. The smoke curled toward the cracked ceiling as he thought aloud. "If we were headin' south, I'd swear this was a Mexican Revolution outfit. But we're goin' north, straight into Wyoming. Cattle wars, maybe. Whatever it is, it's too late to back out now." He crushed the butt beneath his boot and reached for his coat. The evening heat hit like a wall when he stepped outside. Horses snorted, men shouted, metal clanged. Then he saw her, a small woman standing near the lamplight, straight-backed but nervous, clutching her travel bag. He remembered her from the waiting room, quiet courage in her brown eyes. Bertram stepped toward her, tipping his hat. "You seem to be having trouble, ma'am," he said softly. "Is there anything I can do?" The young woman turns at the sound of Milton Bertram's voice. In the golden lamplight of the dusty station, her face shows fear and relief all at once. She clutches her bag tighter, explaining that she's lost her railroad ticket. Bertram studies her, young, proud, and far too fine for this rough place. She insists the ticket wasn't lost, it was stolen. A rough-looking man had stood beside her at the counter and followed her to the baggage desk. When she opens her small handbag, Bertram sees the inner flap sliced clean through with a knife. A chill runs down his spine. She admits someone wants to stop her from reaching Denver, or what lies beyond. Her eyes flash with quiet desperation. The clock ticks above them. The train leaves in 5 minutes. Bertram glances toward the station doors, where Swingley's outlaws still smoke and watch. Time is running out. Bertram decides instantly. There's only one thing to do. I'll buy you another ticket. She protests, but he cuts her off with an easy grin. You didn't ask. But you can't stay here, ma'am. He tips his hat. Wait right here, and don't move. If that fella's still around, I don't want him seeing you with me. Inside, Bertram walks casually to the ticket counter. He asks loudly about the clock, a clever diversion. Then, in a low voice, he buys a new ticket to Denver. The clerk slides it under the counter. As Bertram pockets it, he notices Tom Hoog watching him through the haze, cold eyes, unreadable. Bertram slips outside again and presses the ticket into the girl's hand. No time for thank yous, he whispers. He takes her wrist, leading her around the side of the building into the shadows. Crates and trunks form a narrow passage. The rumble of the train grows louder. Stay low, he says. We'll cut through here. They move swiftly between the stacked crates, slipping through flickering lamplight. The girl's breath catches. Her brown eyes shine with fear and determination. Bertram's voice is calm and steady. Once you reach the gate, you'll be fine. Conductor'll take care of you. She stops and looks up at him. I don't know how to thank you. He grins. Send the money later. Care of William Bertram, Box Ranch, Bertramville. But if you don't write a letter with it, telling me how you liked the trip, I'll be real disappointed. She laughs softly, her first true smile. I'll write, she promises. The station bell clangs. Steam hisses. Passengers hurry aboard. Bertram squeezes her hand once before letting go. Go on now. Don't look back. Goodbye, Mr. Bertram. He watches as she disappears into the crowd, the lamplight catching her hair. The whistle screams, and the train begins to move. For a moment, he sees her silhouette at a window, turning back. The train fades into the night, leaving only dust and echoing wheels. Bertram stands alone, still feeling the warmth of her hand in his. He mutters to himself, half smiling, Milton, you damn fool. 5 minutes with an angel, and you're actin' like she tied your heart with a silk ribbon. He turns back toward the station, where Swingley's gang waits, and danger with them. The air in the depot hung heavy with cigar smoke, swirling under yellow lamps. Rough men lounged on benches, their revolvers gleaming faintly. Milton Bertram stepped inside, his boots sounding soft against the planks. Every eye turned toward him, especially one pair, cold and pale. Tom Hoog sat apart, cigarette ember lighting his sharp face. "You're late," he said. "Had to step out for some air," Bertram replied. "Air's thick with lies tonight," Hoog murmured. Their eyes locked, tension thick as barbed wire, until the depot door burst open with Swingley's arrival. Asa Swingley filled the doorway like a storm cloud, long coat whipping. "Mount up, boys. Train's ready." The gang rose instantly, rifles clattering, laughter dying in the smoke. Outside, the night glowed with steam and lanterns as a special train waited, iron and fire ready to roll north. Bertram followed the men aboard, the rails trembling beneath their boots. 2 passenger cars, a baggage car, and flatbeds with penned horses stretched into the dark. Steam hissed, echoing against the walls like a beast breathing before battle. Inside, whispers drifted among the gunmen. "Big cattle barons payin' big money. Drive the squatters outta Johnson County. Bounties on every man who resists." The words settled like poison in Bertram's gut. So this was no guard job, it was a hired killing spree. Bertram's voice broke the low rumble. "And what if some o' those folks ain't rustlers?" Swingley turned, eyes narrowing. "You losin' your nerve, boy?" Bertram met his glare. Just making sure I signed on for a clean job. Swingley smirked. Clean don't pay. He walked off, and the silence afterward was colder than steel. Hours passed. Men slept or drank. Only Hoog stayed awake, his pale eyes fixed on Bertram. "Funny thing," he said quietly. "You disappearin' before load up. Saw a girl by the crates. Pretty little thing. Denver bound. You know her." Bertram's knuckles whitened. "You watch your tongue." Hoog's grin deepened. "Just makin' conversation." Dawn rose pale over Cheyenne. While watering his horse, Bertram found something tied to his saddlebag, a note sealed with blue ribbon. "Mr. Bertram, the man who tried to stop me in Texas is part of your gang. They plan to burn every homestead. Beware of Swingley and Hoog. L." The girl had warned him. His pulse thundered. This wasn't justice, it was murder. The whistle blew. As the train thundered north again, Bertram's mind was steel. He'd signed on for pay, but he wouldn't ride for slaughter. If Swingley's men meant to spill innocent blood, he'd stop them, even if it meant dying alone. Hoog passed again, eyes gleaming. "Thinkin' of that girl?" Bertram's hand brushed his colt. "You talk too much." "Maybe," Hoog said softly, "but talkin's safer than dyin'." The train screamed through the sunrise, sky blazing red like prophecy. Bertram stared into that fire, heart steady at last. Between the girl's courage and the coming war, his path was set. He'd fight, not for money, but for what was right.